y'all, welcome to my Southern Rustic kitchen. I'm Sam and welcome if you are new. Today I have some delicious meal ideas for you. Not only are they delicious, they are so easy to make. So let's get into the kitchen and let's make some delicious meals. Alright, so we are starting this week out with some chicken burgers. I've got a pound of ground chicken here in my bowl. If you have a bigger family, you can most certainly double this recipe. All the links will be in the description box down below. But to my ground chicken here, I'm going to add in some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, liquid smoke, any flavor will do, and some Dijon mustard, as well as some parsley and some garlic that's been minced. I'm going to mix this up really well, divide this into 4 individual pieces, shape these into balls and flatten these out into patty shapes about 1/3 of an inch thick, and then I'm just going to place these on my little pieces of parchment paper.
I was just a little girl when my mama used to say, requires work every day. Oh, and if that someone makes you smile and leaves you with a star, don't let them tell you what you feel or who you are.
Alright, now that I've got those all pattied out, I've got a new skillet here. It's fairly new to me. I'm still trying to work on getting it non-stick. So I don't cook with it that often, but I need to start cooking with it a little bit more so I can build up that non-stick surface. But I've got my patties on there and I just let them cook about 3 or 4 minutes per side until they are completely cooked through. And then I just remove them to a plate. Alright, so I removed the patties from the pan and I've just got them sitting on a plate to the side, and I'm just going to let them hang out there while we toast up some buns. So I've got some buns here that I've just cut in half and I buttered the tops of those, and we're going to put those center side down on the skillet and let them toast up for about 3 or 4 minutes, just until they're lightly golden brown, and then just remove those and then we will make our plates. Okay, so while the chicken patties were cooking, I just threw some tater tots in the air fryer and let them toast up. So here's my plate. I've got the chicken burger here. I've got lettuce, tomato, some pickled onions, some pickles, and some mayo, but you can dress it however you want. A side of tater tots, and I had a little bit of honey mustard to dip the tots in, and this was absolutely delicious. Today was a grocery day, so we spent pretty much all day out of the house, and I did not lay anything out to thaw for dinner, so I'm just working with what I've got today. So I've got some tortellini here that I'm just adding to a pot of salted boiling water. I'm going to add a little bit of bacon to my skillet here, and I'm going to fry that up until it's nice and crispy. Here I am just adding a little bit of butter and some minced garlic. I'm going to stir that around and let that cook for about 30 seconds. Now I'm adding in about 2 cups of thawed spinach. I just keep it in the freezer and just pull it out whenever I need it. So I'm adding that in there, as well as some cream and some Parmesan cheese, some salt and pepper. And I'm just going to mix this around until everything is nice and combined.
Trouble in
Now I'm just adding in my tortellini. Any kind of a flavored tortellini will do just fine. You can do the 5 cheese, you can do the chicken and the parm, whatever kind that you like or have on hand will do just fine. So I'm adding that in there. Some sun-dried tomatoes will be excellent in this dish as well. So I'm just going to mix that around until everything is nice and combined, and then this will be ready to serve. Alright, here is my bowl of this delicious and creamy tortellini pasta. I have no idea what to call it, I just threw it together. It was kind of a pantry cooking day, so that's what I kind of threw together. So here's my plate, I've got that there, and I just served it with a slice of sourdough bread. And this was absolutely delicious and very, very filling. Alright y'all, let's make some chicken fajitas. I love having the ingredients for this on hand because it's always a hit. So to my bowl here, I've just got some thinly sliced chicken breast. To this, I'm going to add in a spice mixture. It's a mixture of cinnamon, some sugar, salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, lime zest, all of the good stuff. I'm going to add that in there, as well as the juice of 2 limes. I'm going to mix that around until it's all nice and coated well. Cover this with plastic, and I'm going to let this marinate for about 30 minutes.
Stand out. I see it be the sun, not a gray cloud. Stand out.
Alright, now that the chicken has marinated for 30 minutes, I've got a skillet here over medium heat. I'm going to add in a little bit of walnut oil. I like the flavor that it gives, but you don't have to run out to the grocery store and buy walnut oil. Just use whatever kind of oil you have on hand. So I've got that in there. I'm adding in a little bit of avocado oil. I'm adding the chicken in, and I'm going to let this sear all over for a good 8 to 10 minutes, just until the chicken is completely cooked through and golden brown.
The tough times we survived, the more it makes me smile. If nothing's broken us.
While the chicken was cooking, I went ahead and chopped up some bell peppers and some onions into about 1/4 inch slices. So now I'm just going to add those in there along with a little bit of salt and pepper, and let those cook down until they are kind of like a tender crisp. They'll be tender but slightly crisp on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then this will be ready to go. Alright, here is my plate. I have 3 fajitas here. Just the fajita mix with the peppers and onions, sour cream, some homemade salsa. I made some salsa rice. It's just rice, rotel, cumin, salt and pepper. I have some lettuce and tomatoes and some refried beans. I just mixed that with a little bit of milk and some cheddar cheese. Mix that up until everything is melted, and it is so good. So yeah, this is what we have for dinner tonight. Wrapping up this week, I'm making a braised beef short ribs. They are so good, so tender, fall off the bone tender, but they're absolutely delicious. So to my pot here, I'm adding in a little bit of olive oil, my seasoned beef short ribs. They're just seasoned simply with some salt and pepper. I'm going to add those into the pot and sear them on both sides until they have a nice golden crust to them. Now I've seared all of the short ribs and I removed them to a plate. So now I'm just going to add in some onions. I've got an onion here that I've just cut in half and then cut into quarters, about 1/4 of an inch thick. I'm going to add those in there, as well as a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to mix that around and let these cook down for about 3 to 4 minutes.
I'm not even hungover. I wanna call your phone, tell you what you did wrong, then ask you to come over.
Alright, now that the onions have cooked down a little bit, I'm going to turn my heat off, add in some red wine. You can add whatever kind of red wine is your favorite. I'm going to add that in there, kind of scrape up a little bit of the brown bits that are stuck on the bottom of the pan, as well as some Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper, beef broth, a couple of bay leaves, a couple of star anise, and kind of mix that around and make sure everything is nice and incorporated.
Baby, you're bad. Baby, you're bad for business. Baby, you're bad for business. Not good with consequence. I find myself back again, crying on your shoulder.
Now I'm going to add my short ribs back into the pot and kind of spoon some of that sauce over the top of the short ribs. I'm going to put the lid on this and bake this at 350 degrees for about 2 to 2.5 hours until they are nice and tender. Now it's been about 2.5 hours and the short ribs are done, and I'll remove them to a serving plate. I left the juices in the pot here because I'm going to thicken this up to make a gravy to go on the mashed potatoes that I made. So I just brought this up to a simmer, kind of like a boil over medium-low heat, and I'm going to add in a cornstarch slurry. It's just 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and about 1/3 of a cup of water. Mix that together and then just pour in as much as you need to make a gravy. During the last 20 minutes of cook time on the short ribs, I added some potatoes to a pot of water, brought those to a boil, let them cook until they were tender, and drained them. I've got them in my pot here, and I'm just going to add some butter, cream cheese, buttermilk, Lowry seasoning salt, pepper, and a little bit of za'atar. I'm going to mix that around. If need be, I'm going to thin this out with a little bit of milk, adjust the seasoning, and then this is ready to go.
Just wanna let you know, behind the mirrors and all that smoke, promises and
Alright y'all, so this is my plate. I've got 2 of the beef short ribs here, some mashed potatoes with some of that delicious gravy. I also broiled up some asparagus just in some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and that was absolutely delicious. That is going to wrap up this week's What's for Dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye guys.